currently using a digital platform for your classroom or for remote learning? This video is a tutorial and a review on using Seesaw both in the classroom and remotely. Stay tuned. Hi everyone, I'm Lorianne from It's All Primary, and if you are looking for teacher tips, classroom management strategies, resource reviews, and the occasional vlog, then click that subscribe button and bell so you don't miss any videos posted each week. So we are currently on week 5 of remote learning. In our district, we're pretty lax. Still, we're in level 1 of remote learning, which means learning is not mandatory for families because there's so many that are still working and everything like that. What our primary department did is we take turns to create a weekly suggested activities list so that those who want to complete some work will, and those who don't. What I do is I encourage my families to upload a couple photos each week onto Seesaw. I was introduced to Seesaw about 4 years ago from a colleague who could not stop raving about it. At the time, I was using another digital platform, which I was quite happy with, but I was open to hearing what she said, and I was willing to try it. 3 months later, I moved from teaching middle school to teaching a primary class. In fact, it was a multi-grade kindergarten to grade 3 class, and I thought, hey, let's use Seesaw. Let's give it a try. And I'm glad I did. Seesaw is an excellent communication tool between the student, you as the teacher, and parents. This is not just a place where students just upload their work. What is great about Seesaw is it gives students the opportunity to create and actually interact with their work. That can be through video, they can do a voiceover, they can draw right on their work. It's terrific. What I especially like about Seesaw is that you don't have to use an email to access it. Now you can if you want to, and you can give your class, if they each have an email address, you can set up a Seesaw account for each of them. But if they don't, for example, my 6-year-olds and 7-year-olds don't have email addresses, nor should they have email addresses. So we use either a QR code or I can text a code to their parents. If you go to your App Store or Google Play, you will find 2 apps. One will be Seesaw Classroom and the other one will be Seesaw Family. You're going to download Seesaw Classroom and you will be able to use that as well as your students. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a little bit of the screen on Seesaw. When I'm normally in the classroom and I'm marking something like a spelling test, I will mark the work, put a little sticker on it, and then take a photo and put it into each of the students' Seesaw accounts. It's amazing how quickly I get feedback from parents. They are excited and they are waiting for student work to be seen. This is what I love about Seesaw, or digital portfolios in general. We don't know the family lives of many of our kids, and we don't know how, some of these students have parents who work long hours, and having the ability to see some of the work, just even if it's just a glimmer of what's really happening in that classroom, makes their day. And I get so many comments from parents saying thank you for posting these. It just warms their heart, and it warms my heart too. And yes, it takes a little bit of my time in order to upload all these photos, but in the long run, we are on the same team, educating and teaching children, and I want them to be as excited about what their children are learning as I am. Now, Seesaw has the opportunity for you to have a free account or a school account. Now, I use the free account. 1 year I decided to invest some time and become a Seesaw ambassador, and that gives me some extra features that you don't normally get on the free account. I honestly don't even use them. The reason I took the ambassador program was I really wanted to learn more about Seesaw, and I'm really glad I did, because there's a lot of features in many programs that we don't even touch the surface of looking at. And so for me to take that class, I found out a few other places of what to do and where to go when I'm trying to troubleshoot any issues that I'm having, which are few in number. So this is the front web page, and when you go here, if you've never been in here before, you can either sign up for free right there, or if you've been in here before, you can just go to log in, and then they will ask you if you are a teacher, a student, or a family member. When you are setting up home learning for your parents, you're going to go to I am a student, asking here for a text code. That is the code to when you have your own account. There is a link to learning codes, and you just have to provide each of your families with that code, and then they can go in there. So this is my class, and what I tend to do is I put a lot of stuff in by first name just to protect kids' names. If you notice right up here, it says using Seesaw for home learning. When you click this button, this will provide you with the codes that you need, and then it will download, and then I just send parents the code. Over here is where you're going to do general setting up of a class. If you want to archive a class, don't ever delete them, but archive them, you do that here. Everything else is going to be over here where this wrench is. So when you click on this wrench, it's your class settings for students and for families, and you can put the name, your grade level, how many, if you want to add a teacher or two, you can, any theme colors or icons, and then you can tell them whether you are using one-to-one devices, which right now they are. When you go into manage students, this is where you add a student, or if you want to change the icon for their picture. Again, there's some more, the codes is there. If I scroll down, families, enable family access, invite families, manage families. So if you want to add their email to families, and then skills, folders. What I do with folders, so if I go to manage folders here, is I can tag the students' work into different folders. So what I did was I created a folder here, and then I did the main subjects. So I've got language arts, math, PE, gym, science, social studies, and fine arts. So for example, here is one student's work. If I go down to where the 3 dots are, I can edit a folder so that I could put this particular thing is a phonogram video that I created. This is language arts. So I would go down, hit the 3 buttons, manage the folder, and then click on language arts, which I already have, and then just go up to the green check mark. So all of the work that either I put in here or the students are put in here is showing up in the class journal. If I do all class journal, all the work shows up, or I can go into individual students. This is a sample student. This is some work from class time in there. One of the things is I went on to Teachers Pay Teachers, and I picked up some cute stickers that I can add. And all I had to do was, after they've put the picture in, I go down to the 3 dots again. I edit the item. So there's the picture. And then what I did was I went over to the camera, uploaded, and then I added the stickers, and those stickers are found in, like I said, Teachers Pay Teachers, and I will provide a link down below. Sometimes I can get a little bit crazy and just take photos of everything, and there's some things that you can do in the classroom with the kids. You go up here, you add the student work, you can take a picture or you can upload a picture, right? You can do all those things. But if you're finding that that's taking long, which sometimes I do, not that the program is slow, it's me who's slow. What I'll do is I'll take a bunch of photos and then I'll upload them at home while I'm watching TV or something like that. Now that I'm a remote learning and we've sent out this weekly suggested schedule, families are uploading these pictures, which gives now me, it's almost like the tables have turned. Now I'm the parent looking at the student work while the parents are getting to see the learning firsthand. What I'll do is, if you want to look down below in the description, I will have a link to Seesaw. Seesaw has a terrific YouTube channel. They will give you some more detailed type videos. But try it out, even if you didn't necessarily want to use it at the moment or based on the circumstances right now with remote learning. It might be something you want to consider for the next school year. I really appreciate you hanging around this far, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. I hope you are staying safe, stay home, keep your social distancing, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.